We talk about the 350 Olds here. I'm using kinetic head gaskets, or kinetic, and you can see that the compression sealing ring is quite a ways away from the cylinder bore, which is a great idea, versus having it right on the edge like the factory gasket there. Those things barely were. They were almost in the bore. Those rings there, they just weren't very good. And then I'm using these ARP studs, which they screw in like silk. These things are beautiful. I mean, the nuts go on really nicely. And then you can see on the Olds diesel, the pistons are marked right and left because the pin in the piston is offset to offset the kick when it fires. So it reduces piston slap. The earlier engines had more piston slap and made more noise than these DX blocks with the roller lifters. This is truly the one that you would want to rebuild. You can see the ARP nuts are on. Those things screw on really nicely. And you can use the Allen wrench right in here to install your studs in the block, even if you have, like the Oldsmobile next to your air conditioner. You can put that bolt right in there and screw it in, because those are a real pain in the neck on the Delta 88s and the Cutlasses next to the heater box back there. So that makes it pretty easy. And there is not any place on these bolts for your battery terminals, so you can not have to screw them on the front of your head, something like that. But your air conditioning bracket, I believe there are longer ones. Let's see, one of them's longer. No, actually, just gonna have to use this, what you have in here, and put a nut on top of this one to hold your air conditioning bracket on. It's not quite long enough, but it'll work. So it's just something to have to improvise with a little bit. This is going into a truck, so it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have air conditioning brackets that go onto the head on this one. It's a non-air conditioning vehicle because we're in Seattle, Washington, and it doesn't really get that hot here, so we don't have a real huge need for air conditioning for maybe 2 months normally. But anyways, this is the rebuild on the 350 Olds diesel, and here is the upgraded oil pump drive shaft. Great idea to buy one of these. They're like $29, and most all these parts I have here you can buy from Clegg Automotive and Machine. They specialize in the Oldsmobile diesel parts. The pistons, they have the pistons. They can have that oil pump drive shaft. They can get you the kinetic gaskets, but it's cheaper to go straight to them to get those gaskets. Tyson there at Clegg Automotive, he's the guy for the Oldsmobile diesel stuff. He knows it. He knows the language. He knows what you want. He can help you out. And I did use a, unfortunately, this is a Gates water pump made in China, but it is probably the best of the water pumps that you can find out there. I think Gates seems to have most all of them beat, unless you want to rebuild one of the original ones. With a Harbor Freight press, you can take one apart and put all new pieces in it. So there you go. And the fuel injectors, these are rebuildable by your, I've taken several of them apart and clean them up with mothers. You basically use the mothers as your lapping compound on the pencil nozzles. You pull the pin out and you polish the pin with mothers, and you put it all back together, and they seem to work beautifully. You can buy these pop testers online for around $200. If you're playing with many different kinds of diesels, 6.2s, Volkswagens, and all those older diesels, you should have one of these things anyways, and not have to waste your time running to a pump shop to have them check your nozzle for you. In case you get dirt in your own nozzle, you can pull it out and pop it and see what's going on with it. So this is just like having a tune-up kit for a gas car. So anyways, hopefully this helps out with the a rebuild or a repair that you might be doing. It appears to be people all over the world rebuilding these engines or working on them. So This is just trying to help you guys out with what my experiences are. I've been working on them since 1985, and I'm getting closer to 50 now, but I've had a fair amount of experience with them. I don't know everything about them, but I've worked on them a little bit. So the best thing I can say is find yourself a machinist and go with that.